Hello, 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 hello out there in cab land. It's Monday. Monday is cab day. Here on Twitch. Start a little background music, which I will immediately turn way down. Alright, see if we can get this thing going. So, yeah, how's everybody doing? Like always, we will wait around a few minutes in the hopes that our peoples show up. As he looks at the microphone and says, wait a minute, is that muted? No, not muted. Okay, good. Saved by the bell. So yeah, I hope you're all doing well. It's been a good week here in Capland. A little bit of rain, a little bit of disc golf, a little bit of painting. Got the chance to hang out with my favorite person in the world, namely my wife. And now here I am on Monday getting ready to hopefully hang out with you, talk about some stuffs. Grinding away on week 3 of the Slow Grow League here in Tulsa. Got the next round is going to include our specialist squad, which is going to give everybody the opportunity to bring in ECM and EST and APA and all the things that they've been missing and moaning and going, how do I get target locks? I only got 2 actions. I want to move and shoot and target lock and blow stuffs up. Well, now they're going to get to do it. So, yeah, that should be... hopefully that'll be fun. We'll get those games. Should start maybe seeing some of those games get played this Friday, maybe, possibly. I'm not sure. Ilmarin. I was beginning to think my co-host wasn't going to make it tonight. How you doing, Ilmarin? Glad to see you. Glad to see you. So tonight I got a myriad of things to show you and tell you and pontificate about. I'm 80. You're not 80. Stop it. You're not that old. You can't have my title. Oldest person in cab. It's my... Maybe not, but it's got to be pretty close. You are not. You can spell boy. You're not 80. Or misspell it. I'm not sure which way that is, which should say something about me. But yeah, so tonight I've got a... I'm continuing work on my my Templar Free Company. Uh-oh. Okay, took me a second. I was beginning to think the camera had locked up on me again. So if I can figure out where the point is. There it is. Did I leave this thing on autofocus? Let me go see if this thing is still on autofocus, because that seems... odd. Configure the video. Professional podcasting here. White balance is on auto. Camera control. Oh my gosh. They have done me dirty. They turned all that stuff back on. Now I gotta see if I can figure this out this way. Hold on. That's about where I want to hold a miniature at. That'll do. We'll say apply and OK and done. And now we'll come back over to Twitch. Oh, look, you can actually see a miniature. All right, so yeah, continuing work on these guys. The green irregulars, irregular greens. I don't know. Something clever that I have yet to make up yet. Hopefully clever at some point in time. So, like I said, I've been working on those guys. So now we've got our Saber. Gosh, I hope this is a Saber. I'm going to feel stupid if I don't know the name of my own tank. Got a little bit of the work done. Still got plenty to do, but I think I can get these guys done. I got 3 of these guys in my upcoming squad. Right there. And then I got this here Spartan, which... I'm also in the process of working on, and his base is the thing we're going to work on tonight. It's this thing right here. We'll get to that in a minute, though. Put these guys back up for now. I managed to get by last week without painting, which I can kind of tell. His name is Roy. Well, thank you. That's actually not a terrible name. Yeah, so last week all we did was we talked about the lessons that we learned with the indirect fire rules, which were pretty educational. I have not yet had a chance to watch John's last Wednesday stream, but I plan to because I'm curious to see how he followed that up, what sort of things he said to clarify all that. So I'll probably do that tonight after I get off stream tonight. I'll throw that on while I'm sitting around chilling out. But yeah, so, and also earlier today, I was watching the Secret Weapon miniature stream. That fellow, Justin is his name, I believe. He's an incredibly talented painter, super good at weathering, just amazing in general. And he used a technique that honestly I had forgotten about, and that's why all these pencils are out here. My wife has a gigantic collection of colored pencils, and so I have, in my ninja-like ways, I have snuck into her den and extracted the treasures. I've stolen the dragon's loot, the colorful, multicolored pencils of doom. So what I'm trying to do here is, I've got these guys I worked on in the past, right? And so let's see if I can get this thing on screen here. So it's not super easy to see on the camera, but I did a lot of edge highlighting to these guys, right? And it worked out pretty good. It's not terrible, but it's with a brush and with paint, and you mess up and it's kind of slow and stuff like that. And so I saw Justin, Mr. Secret Weapon, pull out his colored pencil. I was like, oh man, I forgot all about that. I took a class from him at ReaperCon a few years ago, and that's one of the techniques that he told us about. So I decided to pull out those, and I went through the part of her collection I could get away with, and I found these colors right here, which I think I might be able to fake that edge highlighting with these pencils. So we're going to experiment with that a little bit tonight, I hope. A little bit later. So now I can put up the colorful menagerie of things we're not going to use. And this is just, I was bored waiting for my computer to reboot, so I got out my stencils and drew some circles and just bored. So now for the night's comedy routine. All right, I'm going to tell you like a joke. Actually, it's not a joke. It's more of like sort of an amusing anecdote at my own expense. All right, so recently, I wanted to change up my flocking a little bit, right? So when I did these guys, I did my traditional kind of dirt, barbed wire, some leaves, some kind of foliage, just a little bit of something flocking. And I like that. It's one of my favorite ways to do this. But I noticed I don't have any rocks mixed in with my stuff. So I decided to order some rocks, but they never came in, and they never came in, and they never came in. So finally I broke down and I went to a local hobby shop, and I bought some of this train ballast, which I've probably got. If you need some, let me know. Bring a cup over. I will share you a cup of train ballast because I've got plenty. And so that's where these little rocks on the second round of bases came from. And I think those worked out pretty good. There's a little weathering powder here on the legs. I just tried to get outside my box and try a few extra things. So finally this week my rocks came in. And so I got these a whole bunch of a very nice selection of these rocks. So here's the funny anecdote that comes at my yes, we are actually painting. At least I am, Gimli. You use the plural pronoun. Are you painting this week? Yes, I do plan to do tiny bit of painting. So the anecdote here, at my own expense, is I bought these rocks through one of those Amazon affiliates, right? So one of the artists has an Amazon link, and I was looking at his website, and I was like, well, I'll buy something off of his list. I need some rocks. Here are these rocks he's got listed. Maybe they'll work out for me. So they finally came from the Royal Mail this week. And that's when I realized what I had done. I ordered 6 bags of rocks from Great Britain. Now, I'm sure these are wonderful rocks, highly representative of all the best qualities of the British Empire and representing England just in its finest, right? I mean, there's probably Sherlock Holmes may have tread upon this rock at some point in time, but I probably could have also bought these at Lowe's or someplace else and not had to pay for them to come across the pond on a boat or an airplane or however they got here. So I was a little chagrined when I got the package and it had the Royal Mail stamp on it for a box of rocks. So there. I hope that's a lesson to everybody. Double check the country of origin when you decide to order rocks, because paying for shipping for, I don't know, 3 cups of English rocks. Well, these are pretty cool. These are about the right size. I like these. I don't know. I feel like I was incautious. I could have perhaps done a better job of that. Put these up. All right. Last but not least, before we get started here, this Gimli is holding me to high standards. He says I have to actually paint something this week. When I decided to go bust out these pencils, I needed to sharpen them, or at least some of them. And so I wandered into my daughter's room because I know she has an electric pencil sharpener because she likes to draw. It turns out really all of my daughters are fantastic artists in terms of, just like drawing stuff for themselves. Oh my gosh, Elmarin, that's hilarious. Modern events. Yeah, I was going to make a comment about that Gimli. They're very close at the end, but when it comes right down to the penalty shots, probably the Italian rocks would have been slightly a better choice. Yeah, I know. I love soccer. Man, all right, I'm getting distracted. Anyway, long story short. So I found this in my daughter's room, right? So she's a talented little artist, self-taught. No schooling in particular for it. I do have a daughter that has an art degree. This is not her. This is sort of like it's like a Valentine's Day card for her and her boyfriend. I think this is supposed to be her and her boyfriend, or some caricature of those. But anyway, I'm old enough. I should probably be showing you all the pictures of my granddogs or my grandchildren. But I don't have any of those yet, so I'm showing you art pictures. So I'm still acting like my kids are in school. There. All right. Done being a goober. All right. Now, before Gimli gets me any more, we're going to do a tiny little bit of painting tonight. Like I said, we're going to try and get this base ready. We're going to talk a little bit about this guy too. All right. So, these are those the 40 millimeter MDF hex bases that John made for me. I'm pretty sure you can get these from John. I'm not sure if they're in the store, but I'm confident he will sell you some if you ask. And so this Spartan is one of these calves that comes with a little hexagonal base plate that fits into these keys in his foot. And so when I made this base, actually, technically my daughter did this base for me. She was up here helping me the other day, the oldest one. What I did is I just basically put this, the hex base, I don't know if you can see the outline of it. It's kind of in there, right there. There's an edge of it right there. I just buried this into the putty, built it up over the top of it, and then textured it and painted it and washed it once. And then now that I'm ready to attach the miniature, there was just a little bit, let me pull out an X-Acto here. It was just a little bit too built up on the edges here where it needs to fit into the key slot. So I had to cut those back, which is why you see some of the raw green stuff here. But the foot's going to go over the top of that, and then I'm going to build up other terrain elements around it. So you probably won't really notice that, at least not enough that I'm going to worry about it. That's my plan. But to start that plan, we got to do a little bit of dry brushing so that I can meet the Gimli standards for the Miniature Monday show. I love that comment about the soccer Gimli. It's just hilarious. Italian rocks. Get this shook up just a little bit. Pry it open. We're just going to do a little tiny bit of dry brushing here. You're not going to see a lot of this the texture part, if these other bases are any standard, I like to leave a little bit of it showing. It's like there at the front, maybe around at the back a little bit, but mostly I texture over it. All right. So this is really just dry brushing. This is an old makeup brush of my daughter's that I rescued from the trash when they were done with it. And I am going to do a little... I guess I should get this thing out where I can get to it. Just a little bit of dry brushing right here. So Gimli, this D&D campaign of yours must be amazing for all the painting you've done. MechBoy21 subscribing. Well, this is normally where people go, you know, like woot woot and all that silly stuff, and I'll do that for you. But thank you very much. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Whoa, nice, Gimli. I've never actually attended a professional soccer game. I just watched them on TV. But yeah, everybody say hello to MechBoy. Thank you very much for dropping in. Nice to see you. So my daughters, when they were younger, like late middle school, early high school, we watched the World Cup. It was I want to say, I can't remember who won. I know they decided to root for Germany, so we've kind of been Germany fans ever since. And of course, Germany's been pretty good the last World Cup or two, so it's been a pretty nice ride. With Mr. Müller as a striker, and just Schweinsteiger, just all the crazy names they have. That's not crazy in Germany, I'm sure. Just Ham and Uzil. Yeah, we've been fun having. We enjoy that. Bastian Schweinsteiger. Yep. Like I said, we watched it for real for a while. Of course, I don't think he plays. Mueller's the only person I remember being on the team during this last tournament, but I didn't get a chance to watching it. I just caught I would read the highlights of it. Yeah, I couldn't remember his first name. Uzil. He ended up playing for Barcelona for a while, I think. It's just when you get to that level of play, it's so hard to actually get any, like field time. Yeah, Madrid. I knew it was one of those two. Sorry. Yeah, Schweinsteiger retired. Yeah. I guess I'm actually more of a World Cup fan. I mean, I still, obviously we root for Germany, but I can't really get excited about it until it becomes World Cup time. I don't know why they don't do a World Cup like every year. To me, that would be the best soccer ever. That's what I would like to watch. That's what I would like to watch. Just give me the World Cup. Even just every other year. Why do I have to wait, 4 years for the World Cup? That makes no sense to me. Just give me the good stuff. I'm sure the Euros out there are like, God, terrible Americans. Don't they understand you got to work your way up to this stuff? But no, that's all I want. Just give me just all the crazy shenanigans that go on around the World Cup. That's what I want. I remember back when they were in South Africa for the World Cup, the kids were just they were heavily into K-pop, and so Super Junior did a Victory Korea song, which of course was never going to happen, but it was just it was a video that was fun to watch. And then, of course, I can't think. God, I'm terrible with names. There have been a couple of songs that are basically centered around the World Cup and things like that that have just been a lot of fun. Been a hoot. I just remember Super Junior and Victory Korea because it was so crazy. I'm going to do a little wash here, so I'm going to bring this up a lot higher than I probably would normally do this, because it's my intention to knock this back down with some wash. Yeah, guys, I'm sure, you know, there must be really good reasons for it. I mean, why isn't every game the Super Bowl? I get it, but I just love it so much. It's so much fun to see to get all that televised coverage from the, you know, like countries that I'm not really familiar with, and just see how passionate those people are. And I mean, honestly, soccer is the beautiful sport. When you learn what those guys are doing, I mean, they're passing the ball around for most of the game, and then something crazy happens. It's actually really good. When I first started trying to watch soccer, I was like, this is kind of, can we score more? But now I kind of get it, and I love it. It's a hoot. I really wish I could watch more. I wish American soccer was a bigger deal. I mean, I guess it is probably. I don't know. The Europeans and the South Americans, and like I said, Korea, Japan, those people they go berserk for this stuff. And that's what I feed off of. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the next World Cup. All right, that's probably enough dry brushing. See, Gimli, look, I painted. Yeah, not denying it. Not denying it at all. Just, you know, I wish it was, I wish there was more. Well, let me say this. Maybe it's just me. I mean, I'm a big football fan, American football. I follow baseball a little bit like soccer. I get excited when baseball is exciting. So my baseball team is the St. Louis Cardinals, and you know, they're off and on again decent. Occasionally they win a World Series like every, I don't know, decade or three. But it's just it's hard to follow because there's so much of it. And the soccer is kind of the same way. You have to really pursue it. And so I should probably put more effort into that. Yeah. I totally get that. Soccer is, you know, by far the most popular sport in the world. And I don't blame it. Soccer is freaking fantastic. Like I said, it's probably on me. I just need to pay more attention to it. Here, let me pull this over here. I just need to make a tiny little place to drop some of this wash. I'm probably just gonna disconnected my airbrush, so I'm gonna give that a few minutes to dry so I don't make a giant mess here. Drop that off the shape of the thing. This guy's a little far forward on his base, but you know, it'll work. Interesting. Yeah. Then we'll have to give that guy a chance to dry here in a little bit. All right. Ladies, tennis, national level cricket, and some cycling. Other than that, I generally am only looking at highlight headlines. Yeah, I suppose it's like this, right? So if I took the time to get into it, I could probably enjoy any of those sports. To me, Formula One looks kind of interesting. But there's just, you got to have time to really dig into it and get yourself educated and really understand what's going on and who the competitors are and what it is to you know, the little fine differences that you know, separate the winners from the second place people. And I just don't have, or at least I haven't had time. And the other thing is there's nobody to talk it over with, right? So like, you know, at work, the little bit of time I have to chat with the people around me is mostly spent on college football, professional football, a little bit of baseball. Now my direct coworker, Jose, is a soccer fan. And so that's kind of where a little bit of my passion came from. Gimli, you know, that's what I love about you, is the insightful analysis, the ability to cut right to the quick of what's happening. I mean, it's just fantastic, man. If it weren't for you, I would just be lost. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you very much, man. Which I literally am. I literally am. I just love the way you like to point things out. All right, what am I doing? Oh, yeah. I'm going to pull these tanks out. And while I'm waiting for that little bit of stuff to dry, I'm going to grab some black I'm not going to drag out the oil paints. I'm just going to block out their turrets or the barrels in their gun. I'm going to paint, just going to kind of paint some blacks. Now, eventually, you know, so on some of these guys, let's see if I've got a good example here. Let's pull this guy out. So like on this guy right here. So I don't know if you can make it out. Let me get a little closer here. So I did his cockpit glass with oil paints, right? Because they do these really crazy smooth blends. But I find it doesn't work really great on tiny little pieces of glass. So like the Duelist has a much, much smaller set of cockpit glass. And so it's just, to me, it was almost not worth the time and effort of trying to use the oil paints. There's just not enough room to do anything with there. So I think these guys kind of fit that criterion. These Saber cockpits are pretty small. So I'm not sure if I'm going to try and use oil paint on these guys or just stick with acrylics and just kind of wing it. I'm in a little bit of a rush. I am behind a little bit because somebody didn't let me paint. I'm blaming Gimli. I think it was Gimli last week that just kept asking me all those indirect fire questions and kept me from actually doing any painting. That's the way I remember it. Thank you very much, Gimli. Yeah, so for a while there, I worked with a gentleman who was originally born in India, and he tried to explain to me cricket, and he was super passionate about cricket. And I listened and I listened and I listened, and I was just like, I don't understand. And I never did really get cricket. So I think I'm just going to be stuck with soccer. I love soccer. Soccer is good. I'll just go with that. Get this thing on camera here. Gimli, this is paint. This is what we call paint. You should include some sabers in your D&D game. See how your party deals with that. See if they know what its weaknesses are. Whether it's takes double damage from fire, has resistance to cold. Surprise them, I'm telling you. Drop them in somewhere where you can use your cab models against them. Yeah, absolutely. Swampy territory. Yeah, these guys don't like the swamp. We had to pull out some hover guys for that. I once had this idea back when I was in college, the first time, back when I was at Cornell. I had this crazy idea for running a one-off D&D session. And basically, the session was the Starship Enterprise needed dilithium crystals, which are in the dragon's hoard. And so the players and the Star Trek guys somehow had to work together to sort out the how to get these dilithium crystals. But I never got a chance to really flesh it out. The people that I was bouncing the ideas off of didn't care for it, so you know how it is. We moved on and played, I don't know, something else. Probably that Drow series for you. Underworld or Underdark, whatever it's called, I can't remember. Yeah, we had a lively D&D group when I was at Cornell, but that was a long time ago. And not very conducive to good grades on my part, so try and kind of block that out. Try not to remember too much of that. So Gimli, are you the ref? Are you the player? What's going on here? Hold on, I'm concentrating. Got my tongue sticking out. Can't think straight and paint tiny little places. So you took over. Sweet. I have not refereed a ton of D&D in a long time. Haven't really played a lot of D&D. I mean, I guess I have played some. I like it. I want to. Pathfinder, I like all that stuff. Just, man, it's so hard to find the time to schedule. And then, of course, to work out everybody else's schedule, you know? But I tell you, the game that I played, well, actually, hold on. This is like Stories with Grandpa James today. You got me started. I'm going to tell you all kinds of crazy stories. I did once run a D&D adventure at a science fiction convention. It was one of those things where, you know, you just advertise, like, it's kind of like Gen Con. You just advertise a slot, right? It's like, hey, I'm running this kind of game, brief description, bring a character, this level, you know, I'll approve the magic items or whatever at the very beginning of the game. And so it was, you know, well attended. It had 6 or 7 people around the table. And I had this interesting adventure in mind. Oh, a made-up adventure. And so, yeah, Gimli, I get it. I'm waiting on my shipping notification from Reaper myself. So I got this table of 6 strangers that I don't know sitting around the table waiting for me to referee this game for them. Everybody's in a pretty good mood. It's a good convention. We're having a great time. And so I'm going around, and in my mind, I'm kind of doing like the beginning of the James Bond thing, right? Every James Bond movie begins with an action scene. And so I'm trying to do these little what am I trying to say? Vignettes, right, at the beginning of James Bond. So I'm giving every player a little bit of an intro and action scene so we can see what they're good at, see what they do. And at the same time, I'm tying it into my scenario. So I start with the person on my left, and, you know, the fighter, I think it was, and, you know, I introduce some kind of scene. He's being chased by wolves across the snowy plains, you know, blah, 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 middle of the freezing cold. And in the context of his vignette, I killed him on purpose. So then I went to the second person right next to him, and I gave him a little intro vignette. Totally different, just winging it based on a little bit they told me about their character, and I killed that character in the first 5 minutes of this game. And it was funny because you could see I was working my way around the table, and the people at the other end of the table are like, what the hell is going on? And so by the time I got to the end, these people are like really struggling to try not to die. They're just pulling out all the stops, drinking their potions, and using up their wands. It's hilarious, right? So in the first, I don't know, it probably took me 30 or 40 minutes to work my way all around the table. I killed every player on purpose because this adventure took place in the afterlife. And so after they were all dead, that's when the adventure began. And if they succeeded, they got to come back. It was a fun little time. I had a good time with it. Man, that's been a long, long time ago. I told you, you're going to get grandpa stories. I'm in that mood today. I don't have any grandbaby pictures to show you, so you're going to get my old college D&D stories. Or alternately, you could just mute the speakers and keep painting. Just, you know, tell me to shut up. When we were young, our favorite role-playing game was Champions. We discovered this little black and white, this is back around 81, 82, somewhere in there. This little black and white superhero role-playing game that grew into sort of a big multi-genre do-anything toolbox of a game. And we have played so much of that. It's crazy. I think I mentioned this before. My wife and I are working on a little nostalgia game. We're playing on Friday nights. Sort of a low-level Daredevil, Spider-Man level sort of hero game. Set in Champions, of course, because we speak Champions. That's what's going on with us. So, guys, I ordered my miniatures early. It doesn't really matter to me, but I haven't gotten a shipping notification of any kind yet, so I just keep waiting. I'm patient. I checked the pledge manager. My pledge is closed out. I will eventually get stuff. I can maybe share this story with you now. I couldn't back at the time. But Chris Lewis, who's our Cav sculptor, you probably already know this, is the sculptor who designed the pirate ship. It's the same guy, the guy that does most of our calves. He's the Saturday guy that does he did the Scorpion recently. Probably one of the dragons. I don't think I ordered, and maybe the Rune Whites. Anyway, it doesn't matter to me. They'll send it to me eventually. So Chris is the person who designed the pirate ship. And so I was up, I don't know, back last year sometime before the Kickstarter ended, and John took me over to Chris's house just to drop in and talk about Cav and whatnot. And he was working on the pirate ship. And this is back before we knew what it looked like. So I got to look at it in its digital form. And man, that he's one of my favorite sculptors. Nice guy too, but I mean, just wow, he blows me away with the stuff he does. I didn't know I was going to have a favorite sculptor in my life, but apparently I do. I didn't know I needed one, but I've got one. All right, good enough for now. Yeah, I figured there was some delay of some kind. I probably ordered something that got held up, or I don't know. I don't worry about it too much. I still have stuff from Bones, earlier Bones. I won't even say the numbers that are not painted. See, what I need is what Gimli has. I need a D&D group. Because most of these Reaper miniatures are like fantasy things, right? And so then I would have a reason for this, like, oh, next week we're going to need to fight a dragon. I better get this dragon painted up. I will say I have been a pretty busy painter this year. When I finish this Templar Free Company, probably in the next 2 weeks, maybe sooner. I've only got the two, I'm not sure what airplanes those are suddenly. I've only got the 2 airplanes left to paint. I will have painted this year, this calendar year, 40 Cav models. That's a lot of models for me. I'm a fantastically slow painter who's really good at procrastinating. So I am quite proud of myself. That is a lot of models for me. It's been a long time since I played like any kind of rank and file game. The last thing I really did was War Machine and Hordes, and I painted up a couple of, I don't know, 30 or 40 model armies for that, but that's been a long time ago. I haven't painted any of that stuff in ages. All right, I'm looking forward to seeing it, Gimli. And Gimli, you don't annoy me. I like it. The only thing that could make it better is if we could find a way to paint together in person. That would be great. Then I could buy you your beverage of choice. And we could compare notes. And you could see how, these guys look in real life. Maybe for the better, maybe for the worse. Actually, I've kind of rushed these guys. Like I normally would do kind of a wash and then come back in and put another layer of airbrush highlights over the top of the wash. But I just, because, I've been on basically a 2-week cycle for a squad, I have been skipping that. So these are not quite the usual, they're mostly the same paint style. They're just a little different, a little, I don't know, chalkier maybe, a little drier, not quite as smoothly blended as they might normally be. But that's okay. We can't all be a Ross Hines. All right. 40 more than you've painted. Come on now, Mech Boy. Like I said, if we could just paint together, that would be fantastic. Because I guarantee you, we could have gotten one of your models painted for sure. By the way, if you guys haven't, just to mention this in case somehow you've missed it, John has created a forum, just a regular standard old-fashioned Reaper style forum, just for Cav. And there's a lot of good stuff over there. Ross has been posting up his ideas about different he's only done one so far, but he's posting up a series of things about factions and how they play, and some army lists he's working on, of course, plus his fantastic paint jobs. And it's not as active as I want it to be yet, but I really like that. It's all Cav all the time. And so I encourage you guys, like your works in progress, or, just anything that you guys want to chit chat about, bring it over there too, because ultimately I think the forum, I just really like the way the Reaper forum works. When I'm in the mood for Reaper stuff, miniatures, pictures, people talking, just, sort of my own little tiny version of ReaperCon, I go over to the Reaper forum and just cruise around that place. It's a joy. And I just really want to have that experience with Cav too. I want to be able to come into the Cav forums and just immerse myself in CavCon is really the way I think of it. Get this back over here a little bit. I will come back in with the yellow later with the brush and highlight. I'll cut this black back and strengthen up these cross members where it's not even really yellow at all. I'll hand paint some of these things in yellow so it looks a little more dynamic. Some of those little tiny details are too much even for the airbrush, or at least my airbrush. Maybe somebody can do that. 'Tis not I. Whew! Cruising along here. I am a slow brush painter. But that's okay. Slow wins the race. Alright. And now I can just kind of be a little quick with this. I got my tickets to go see Black Widow tomorrow. I'm super excited for that. I am a superhero fan. And obviously I love all the Marvel stuff. Gosh, I hope you people have heard that if you've listened to anything I've said. So I'm super excited for that. We decided to kind of catch the tail end of the opening weekend. Just worked out better with our schedule. Our local theater has got a dinner section. 21 and up, you can go up there and have dinner and drinks if you like while you watch the movie. So looking forward to that. Hang out with Allison and watch a movie I've been wanting to see for a long time. Have some pretty solid food. It is a treat in my week. Yeah, D plus is downstairs too, but I really like the. So we have a Warren Theater, which was actually bought by the Regal Company a year or so ago, maybe a little bit more. But it's it's like a really super fancy theater with. It's a treasure to go to. The atmosphere in it is wonderful. It's fancy. It feels like I've never been to Disney World, but to me, it feels like what Disney World seems like it should be. It's just this magical fantasy place where everything is really cool, and I just enjoy going to the theater. I've got a pretty solid home theater set up downstairs, so I enjoy watching stuff downstairs, like the Loki series. That's a joy, but yeah, when I get a chance, I go to the theater. Plus, I want them to stay in business, so we're unlimited subscribers, so we have a monthly thing where we just go see movies. Some of them are free, some of them cost money. We save a little bit here and there, but we pay whether, just every month. It's a thing run by that company, so hopefully they're making a profit. Gosh, I hope so. Yeah, I get it with the kiddos. It's been a long time, but yeah, we had little kiddos too, and so there were some things you couldn't take them to see. I once, Allison and I went and saw Aliens 4, the one with Ron Perlman in it, I believe. And we were sitting there watching that. It's an Aliens movie, so you know what those are like. And this young couple, I mean, not mad at them or anything, but they brought some young children, not little toddlers. I mean, like, I don't know, first graders, kindergartners. I'm like, man, this is a heck of a movie to bring a little kid to. But not my place to say anything. So I just watch the movie. Hope the kid doesn't have nightmares. Yeah, Loki, I've enjoyed the crap. Again, I love everything. So, don't ever judge anything by my opinion, because I'm one of the most enthusiastic people I know. But yeah, I've liked all the Marvel series. And I think Loki has been spectacular. I could kind of see where all the others were going a little bit. I mean, I didn't predict everything. But, you kind of get a feel for where Falcon and Winter Soldier was going. But I'm not sure who is going to be in charge or where this is going to end up in terms of the TVA. I'll be careful because there may be spoilers. I don't want to talk about too much, but I am excited to find out who is the power behind and to get a sense of where this thing is going to go. Because I'm pretty sure Loki is already signed on for a second season, which implies that there's more stories to tell, which also kind of makes sense. I mean, we're going to meet presumably the big bad with 40 or 50 minutes to tell their story. That's not going to... There's going to be some sort of cliffhanger at the end of that. That can't get resolved in that small amount of time. Scar them young, get the therapy later. Yeah. After they're off your insurance, right? I hear you. I hear you. Paint these tires. I need a bigger brush for painting tires. That's not a tire painting brush. Yeah, but I mean, Disney Plus has been a treat. We watched. We got, what is it? HBO has the DC stuff. Warner Brothers, I guess, had Wonder Woman back around Christmas when it came out. So we watched it on Disney or HBO rather, and then we went like the next day to see it at the theater because it was actually open, and it was just a treat to get to go to the theater, back then. And like I said, I just always want to support that local business because I love the theater experience. I love the smell of popcorn. I like hanging out. I like the great sound systems. I like all that. Plus, I like people to make money. The people there deserve their tips. Deserve to have a wage. So I will tell you this again. John has been chit-chatting in the little private... I don't even know what to call it. There's a group where John and his artists and I get to listen and chit-chat and whatnot. And he has been dropping some rule bombs like you would not believe. I cannot tell you what they are, but I'm telling you, there are some bombs coming. Oh my gosh. It's going to be good, and it's going to be amazing, and it's going to be good and amazing. I just can't wait for you guys to get a whiff of this. Not sure when, can't say anymore, but see if you can poke John in the ribs on Wednesday. See if he'll spill the beans to you. Because I'm telling you, there are some beans to be spilled. He's got them in a bag, and if you get them, we can grow a beanstalk, and we can take it up to Cavland, and we can see what the new stuff is. So get John's kind of a giant too, so let's do this. I think this metaphor holds. Yeah, you're right. I'll take it back. But his proposed rule changes are pretty damn interesting. I can see what the TVA would get me for right now. Oh, you're too enthusiastic there, Mr. Salyers. This is causing us problems in the timeline. You're going to have to be pruned. go to my own personal version of the whatever the name of that place is, where well, God bless it. I better shut up. I said I'm not going to spoil anything. Blah 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 blah. James didn't say anything. Blah blah blah. I'm a bad person. All right, a little bit of progress. We got a few more minutes here. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I do. I think after I get done with this Templar Free Company and the Slow Grower League shuts down, I think one of the things I'm going to work on is a bunch of terrain. I've got a bunch of buildings and some MDF stuff that needs to be painted. I have literally 0 painted cav terrain. And so when I go to set out a demo, and I've got a good looking mat, and I usually have some decent looking calves and vehicles to put on the table, and then I plop down this unpainted terrain, and I'm like, you're a putz. Yeah, you should probably do better than this. So that's high on my list. There may be many, many Mondays of, God, is James still painting those bleeping buildings? Hurry up. Just dunk them in something. Get it over with. So yeah, there may very well be some terrain in the future. MacBoy subbed. Thank you very much again, MacBoy. Thank you very much. I would sing you a song, but then you would unsub. I got a chance to drop in on Party Bear's stream the other day. That was good. That guy's a good painter. I like the way he paints yellow. Very, very, very good stream to follow if you guys get a chance. I saw Ilmarin over there. I'm pretty sure it was Ilmarin. So yeah, I mean, if you get the chance, you should definitely check out Party Bear. He is a hoot. He paints calves and all kinds of other things. He's also into RPGs. Who would have ever guessed? It's almost like Birds of a Feather. Flock. I don't know. They do something with their flock. Maybe they get sheared? I don't know. I'm not sure. Isn't that what you do with things that are flocked? Flocking? Something? Something like that? Yeah, Ilmarin. Unfortunately, Thursday nights I normally don't get home until after he's already off. And so I will occasionally watch like an after the fact stream, but it was just super cool to like catch him live. I would love to hang out with that guy too. He was a real hoot during CavCon. There was a lot of talk about the Rock discussion club and just all kinds of funny things. Get this back up here. There's so many good things to watch. I mean, the Twitch and YouTube, the a la carte nature of the way you can consume media nowadays is kind of bad. So for a long time, I'm not a big fan of mainstream media. So like Friends and stuff like that. I've never seen any of that stuff. It's just, I don't know. I mean, the bits and pieces you see that, it's comedic. I'm sure The Office was really good stuff. Breaking Bad, none of that stuff is in my wheelhouse. And so, for the longest time, I was that guy who was like, man, I have not watched I've watched 1 hour of TV this month. And that was probably a sporting, like a soccer game of some kind or something. But man, now there's so many a la carte options, it's insane the amount of stuff that I watch nowadays. I mean, one of my favorite YouTube channels is Jomez Pro. They're like a post-production coverage of disc golf tournaments. I'm like, disc golf tournaments? What the hell? Where do you find that? I mean, ESPN did recently sign a contract to cover disc golf on their second channel, and they will occasionally throw stuff up there. The Worlds for disc golf was a couple of weeks ago, and it was just amazing. The finale to that was like a Michael Jordan buzzer beater kind of finish if you're not into disc golf. Yeah, I mean, just the ability to consume this stuff a la carte, that, like, so I can find exactly the media I want, has taken me from, like, literally, I would tell people I have not watched TV this year, and it would be like May, to, man, I watched 9 hours of disc golf coverage last week. I have a problem. And then there's YouTube, like Party Bear, James Wobble, Thunderhead Studios. I mean, there's so many good painters. And then, people that want to teach me how to play a game. So, like, I have to admit, I kind of I'm kind of looking sideways at this new version of Kill Team that's coming out from the GW folks. Don't see anybody I said that. This is just, and there's audio, podcasts, and books, and oh my gosh, there's so much media to consume. I can't do it all anymore. Not even close. It's a wonderful problem to have. I'm going to finish up this Saber, and I guess that'll be it for tonight, gentle folks. Gimli the D&D painter, painting up what he's going to try and murder his party with next week. Ilmarin, the consumer of all the medias. MacBoy with a subscription. I saw Tiger Wraith's name pop up earlier on the sidebar, but he didn't say nothing, so I'm assuming he's asleep. He's drank too much Cider Boys cider, and he can no longer communicate with the rest of the known world. Tiger Wraith is kind of a aficionado of really good ciders. He's given me a couple of really good tips, so if you ever have a question about that stuff, you might hit him up. He and I there was a little bit of discussion about that in the chat today. Might be a good off-topic subject for the forums, now that I think about it. Alright, got this barrel to do, and that's going to be it. So, finish this up really quick. And then I will sign off with the usual signage of signs. Signs everywhere, signs. All right, gentle folks. I hope your hobbits are painted over there, Mr. Gimli. Ilmarin, I hope to see you hanging out with Party Bear again soon. I hope I get my shipping notice from the Reaper folks. You guys should definitely post up some of your painted Reaper stuff from the Bones thing over in the off-topic sections, so I can see what you're doing. What you got going on. I'm definitely going to go check out your post, Gimli. Again, I appreciate everybody showing up on Monday night. John will be back on Wednesday to discuss. He's going to tell you all the secrets that he's been telling us that we can't tell you about, so that we're all in the know. You just have to go make him do it. Just go tell him, James said you would do this. And yeah, I have a receipt. I must be informed about all the new tech that is coming along. It's crazy talk. I'm telling you. It's fun. It's going to be interesting. So yeah, Gimli, Ilmarin, MechBoy, anybody else out there that I missed? Gosh, I hope I didn't miss anybody. Thanks for stopping by. Have fun. Paint your miniatures. Be good to each other. Be good to everybody. Be good to yourself. That's important too. I think that's probably what that Bones 5 thing is, though. Anyway, thanks for joining me, all. I really, really, really like these Monday nights. I will talk to you later. Bye.